time to invest you niggas. No cop shit. You know, no detective work. You know, this is straight with the stars, nigga. Yeah. Hold on. If you think you fucking with me, man, you cats is crazy. I've been doing shit with your girl that you haven't lately. Use your imagination, all I do is magic, baby. I'm Archangel Uriel, nobody have to save me. Air Force, if you look up, see me passing safety. To take me down, you need Marines, Armies, and half the Navy. To take me out, man, you gonna have to decapitate me. Don't know, I'm the ghost, like I'm Patrick Swayze. Everything I spit is sick, like I had the rabies. Fuck a bitch, make her say ow, to the max and wavy. And you ain't seen me if you haven't seen a dragon lately. Y'all niggas so bad, you should've played and Brenda's had a baby. A full course meal, with a nigga be rapping daily. It ain't mashed potatoes until you niggas have some gravy. I'm the ghost like Patrick Swayze, come from my revenge. Sometimes I don't even know what kind of mind I'm in. Don't wanna be a part of shit, so I just mind my biz. In this world, I ain't even really got no kind of friends. Time after time again, I prove I don't wanna be you. I ain't really got no shape or form, everything is looking see-through. This is real life, and I ain't talking about a Hebrew. You be so blinded, you gon' need glasses and 4D too. Yeah, it's that restraining, you think it's fascinating, but you don't even really know what you imaginating. If you think you fucking with me, man, you guys is crazy. I've been doing shit with your girl that you haven't lately. Use your imagination, all I do is magic, baby. I'm Archangel Uriel, nobody have to save me. Air Force, if you look up, see me pass the safety. To take me down, you need Marines, Armies, and half the Navy. To take me out, man, you gonna have to decapitate me. Don't know, I'm the ghost like I'm Patrick Swayze. Stuck between two worlds, now my damn soul is stressing. Now I'm back in the dark, I ain't got no direction. Cause the light I was lost in, it had no reflection. Was being less all the time, thinking about hopes and blessings. Did a lot of things I ain't wanna do, but it's no regret. Can't buy the shit that you sell, I ain't making no investments. You niggas think the idea's right, but no one tested. Flight boss got the mind state and the Nikola Tesla. Creating feelings and emotions, and I got the numbers to go with it. Yo, love the vampire slayer, I don't fuck with no solar shit. Flight boss be in the sky and I'm up with a solar wind. Don't make me strike down right now and I'm done proposing it. Watch who the fuck you approaching, bitch, cause you ain't done these courses on how to react when you get attacked by unseen forces. You a cut clean orphan in a dirty ass body. That's amazing, need a baptized bath and bathing. If you think you fucking with me, man, you cats is crazy. I've been doing shit with your girl that you haven't lately. Use your imagination, all I do is magic, baby. I'm Archangel Uriel, nobody have to save me. Air Force, if you look up, see me pass it safely. To take me down, you need Marine, Armies, and half the Navy. To take me out, man, you're gonna have to decapitate me. I'm a ghost like I'm Patrick Swayze. You think you fucking with me, man, you got to crazy. I've been doing shit with your girl that you haven't lately. Use your imagination, all I do is magic, baby. Archangel Uriel, nobody have to save me. Air Force, if you look up, see me pass it safely. To take me down, you need Marines, Armies, and half the Navy. To take me out, man, you gonna have to decapitate me. Dolo, I'm the ghost like a Patrick Swayze.
What was that? Done. Oh, now. Welcome to New Worldiah. Welcome to New Worldiah. Where's the new Wild Wild West? Where's you gonna set up your fort? Now look, check it out. Now while everybody bull crapping, playing around, what do that mean? Just talking. You know what I'm saying? Wasting time, not substantiating anything that they doing. I don't even care if you up here just talking. You better substantiate it. We can create a whole new version of what it means, because that's what we just doing this, what y'all doing as humans, creating concepts of what intelligence is. So for the most part, it's like we just creating what could be generalized and things of that nature, but for the most part, people not spending time to do that for themselves, and we in a free-for-all right now. And for the most part, that's going to make you more frustrated and stressed out than anything else. You not being able to get your 1-2 in this new world that it may not be no example, because you really got to be yourself. You got to be an individual, however the case may be. So we're going through a time right now where it's the new Wild Wild West when it comes into the mental world, spiritual warfare. Your spirit is your body. You have an individual spirit. We call that the soul. Then you create your first body. Is it made out of steel, or is it dull? Or is it a double-edged sword? Or can you change it into a spaceship and go the distance because you got enough gas, whatever y'all calling down here, swag, or however the case. but it's your emotional motivation behind what you got in your mind as far as what you're trying to go into and steer as a direction. So whatever you want to make that image is, that's up to you. Hopefully it's a sufficient one. We'll see how it play out through you, if it's sufficient or not. You know, you got retarded friends and you got smart ones, so we don't really got to go into detail of how to look at that. You know what I'm saying? Get your T-Steam game up. Get your T-Steam game up. Get your T-Steam game up. And we're going to get spiritual. And we're going to break down a lot of things so you can understand it physical too. Because, you know, one of the first things people really want to get the know-how about is how to get your 1-2 together. Beyond somebody just giving you some hope. What do that hope condense into be? But for the most part, can you be the face of this new energy? It's all kind of gold out there. You need to go hunt. It's all kind of animals. All kind of, look at these things like ideologies. There's animals that's non-useful. There's new animals that haven't been discovered yet. There's bacteria, parasites, minerals, essential minerals to be at that. And you could be running around with a gold mine and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? On the back of the goddamn caravan. Or you could have a pack train. You know what I'm saying? Where we all set up, whether we dealing with horses, and they just created the trains to mimic that or whatever, the steel horse. But at the same time, a pack train, we all get in the line because when we just went out and found and hunt, I mean, we taking it back to the village. Everybody can eat. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, we got to start this over before we even see it in actual nature right now, which makes it a spiritual warfare, and you get quick to get colonized in the spiritual world too. And when we start to talk about this world, it don't even have to be an actual colonizer, a spirit inside of the mind and the body down here. It could be your family, friend, associate, and co-worker. I mean, it's so often a lot of y'all right now ain't going for the goals and the direction and paths in y'all lives because of what y'all have attached yourself to and over-exaggerated the care and the attachment. So you can't go and express yourself because the first attachment is, I don't want to be seen that way because whatever more importance you giving to them. The second attachment, I don't want to act and be seen in that way and things of that nature because of how people think I'm doing. That's totally opposite. And you ain't talking about nothing totally opposite than someone who probably just get drunk every week. You know what I'm saying? So what are you really talking about for real? What you afraid of? Not having that assistance from that person because, well, you went to high school with them. Or you share blood with them. Or whatever the case may be. So you waiting around for them to over exaggerate how much they're going to give you assistance to something you not even clear cut dry knowing what you want to do. But when you get clear cut dry knowing what you want to do, that'd be the last thing in your mind. Matter of fact, you'll be waiting for someone else to make up their own mind to separate and act like they don't want to give you assistance and stuff. Because when you're actually doing something, that's hard to do because you can't even get rid of people who ain't even assistant. They just hanging around because of whatever the opportunity or possibilities of whatever you doing and them just attaching themselves to you, they think that they in. You know what I'm saying? And you can't spell friend without the E-N-D. The end. You know what I'm saying? So you got the peep game. You know what I'm saying? Don't get lost in the sauce. But we're going to break down all this esoteric manuscript so you could build a fortified city. And it ain't going to work with just you. Now, you can create the layout. The blueprint, because we're going to get into the esoteric landscaping and everything. But for the most part, you need someone on the west gate. You need someone on the east gate. You need someone on the north gate. Well, you know, the north gate could be hidden and things of that nature, where you lay your rest at or whatever, or where everybody come as a communion or a council or a lodge. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, discuss things like a round table, however the case may be. Then we need somebody on the south end. So, you know, the north end would just be where everybody gather, and that's where we're going to collect all of our thoughts at. If you're joining an esoteric tribe or community, and then for the most part, you have somebody on the west end, you have somebody on the east end, and you have somebody on the south end. Then you want to get angled up, right? Angelic energy, other persuasions, you know what I'm saying? Any type of infiltration or whatever like that. You got mental tactics or whatever the case may be. And that will be the catacorner areas or whatever the case. So it'll be this catacorner where you think people are weak. This catacorner where you think people are just in merchant and trading. You got this catacorner not knowing that they also are intertwined with your south gate, with your west gate, and with your east gate. And for the most part, anybody who try to to infiltrate or get washed up, not knowing what's going on, thinking that they're more intelligent. But for the most part, that's how you hold your business down. And everybody is at an early stage right now where they can start their stuff, and goddamn it, you could be remembered 100 years later as exactly what the bucket hats did and stuff like that. But it's like that when it comes into business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. So you could be looking at everybody wasting time right now, talking, pandering around, creating narrative, virtual signaling, all those main things to jump into the algorithm right now or to control other people's mind. Such as you probably got people who not even online doing the same tactics on you and stuff like that, and you share their blood, or you next to them because you the co-worker, or goddamn it, you went to high school with them, so that alone you got to deal with it, however the case may be. But we're going through a new time right now. You got to be substantiated, and you got to know it's a spiritual warfare going on, even when it comes to you getting put in situations where you slightly getting took out of the time you could be given to your creativity and whatever you put in your mind and justify it due to the fact because you went to high school with that person, or you knew that person for a long time, or they helped you out and you helped them out a lot of times, or y'all share blood, or however the case may be. You need to understand this is a serious time right now, and you need to be in that face or that representation to be the face of whatever you broadcasting or auditioning for, and hopefully it's something that you can reap the benefits for, and you ain't in that little scary energy that, oh, I don't see no examples yet, oh, this ain't gonna work, oh, this person is doing more of this, so I need to go. No, that's weak spirit. That's weak spirit. Even if you ain't got nothing going on right now, and that's just for your convenient time or however the case. Yeah, but God will give you a little bit of grace until you wasting too much time to make yourself, to make God realize, or make you realize you just a spiritual bum. You know what I'm saying? You need to get up off that spiritual, esoteric, Beavis and Butthead couch and go ahead and start to put in work. And things play out in reverse in the spiritual world. So in the physical world, it'll play out that you might stumble across some gold and your job ain't nothing else but sitting on a goddamn couch. But at least it's that same thing that we doing, but you're not making it look stubborn. You're making it look consistent, because that's the reaction of things. We always doing the same thing, trying to expand our tree ring cycle like Saturn and Sun. But for the most part, here's the thing. Whatever you doing the same thing on, right, you could be in insanity because you're trying to do the same thing, but you still get negative results, and people trying to tell you need to do better and stuff like that. That's you doing the same thing over and over again, but you on the negative side, aka you're stubborn. But if you're doing the same thing over and over and you're getting the results and you are actually able to fail, this is consistency. And if I stop, it'll actually mess up something that's going good. Then that's when you know you're doing something over and over again, but you're doing it positive. So don't compartmentalize everything with your Americanized mind to put everything in a dichotomy or whatever the case may be, because one is a transition to the other, or you could be lost in one pocket or the other. And then when you start to think that these things are separate and not a transition for one to be the other in some way, shape, or form, here's you'll get lost, and you'll come up with your own dichotomies, and then they get filtered through your biases, then they get filtered through your what you think is good and bad and right and wrong, and then before you know it, you just some walking asshole. You know what I'm saying? Because you only care about what's good for you, no matter who neck you step on, no matter who other business get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to be careful with these energies y'all participate in. And during this time right now, it's the new Wild Wild West. You know what I'm saying? Now, warning, it will become physical. So as long as everybody is doing positive things mentally right now, in the next 10, 20 years, the physical will just be you reaping the benefits and doing good business. Not everybody destroying each other and things of that nature like we have done 300 to 400 years ago and stuff like that, right? So for the most part, you need to make sure you put your mind in a productive position. Now, you know right now at the early stages, even before we get into 2027, let me give you examples of what it looked like to be productive or not. If you someone that's gish galloping, babbling, bull crapping, spending more time on talking, and due to the crumbs that you may get because we all sharing the same world but doing different things, so you could jump into the algorithm right now because we got online. That's part of the new world, because it ain't just about online, it's real life too. But you know what I'm saying? A person might be getting their little crumb 1, 2, especially if they're agent. They probably getting paid by, so they probably think whatever that they doing is in a good situation. But eventually you're going to start to see so many shifts is changing because it's a spiritual warfare. Something you might think you crossed over as gold, especially if you get an assistance because you're an agent or a shield, right? Switch up whole next week. Now you can't cling on to that same amount of gold to give the same reap the same benefits from it or whatever the case may be. Now you got to go do some pawning. The gold that you just bought, thinking it was, or the silver you just got, aka ideas or feelings and emotions, gold and silver, sun and moon, whatever you just got it collected and was being able to be the face of that and control other individuals in that attribute, right? You got a bunch of gold and silver that's no longer valuable at the moment. People finding other minerals. We're in a new wild west in the spiritual world. You got to look at it like this. If you don't, you retarded. You someone gonna be more of a hater than someone that got more creative and things that can help others, individuals, and solutions mentally, spiritually, and physically. You know what I'm saying? That's why y'all be seeing me change my live stream so much. I wake up, go to heaven, come back to hell, see all the evils of the world, then God will be like, wait a minute, but you got something more intelligent that actually expands for everybody, that everybody can even see, even if they're negative in their own way, without you actually directing it in some way, shape, or form. And that's us all helping each other, each one teach one. So I just be doing things for God and something like that. You see what I'm saying? And I love humanity. So anytime I got to spiritually spank y'all, God just taught me to do it at a better angle, because you are Aries. Don't forget that. You come across in a way that people may not understand it, and it's too aggressive, and then the message get lost. You know what I'm saying? But so I be having to separate a lot of times what's done to me personally. That's the only reason why I got the chat off. I got so many haters, and I got dots, and I got people bringing up my daughter and stuff and things of that nature. That's a little going too far, where the chat ain't really that deep into spirituality like me anyway. So for the most part, I don't even need to interact with the chat for me to sit up here and stay on topic. And you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't have no air pockets in my live streams, and I could go 10 hours straight. You know what I'm saying? I just cut it off as an hour because, you know, that's what it is. And I had got that trauma from not being monetized. But now that I'm monetized, I don't even mind going a little bit over an hour, however the case may be. I just got to ease my way back into it. But I think an hour is enough as an impact juice of fruitful knowledge and spirituality based on the topic and the subject matter for everybody to get juiced up, and then add that gold to your own creativity and your own esoteric drawings at the esoteric drawing board. And then now you know where that actual help was at. Now you know how we esoteric brothers and sisters and things of that nature. And that way, I'm everybody's esoteric next door neighbor, best friend. You better believe it. You see what I'm saying? Now, but getting all that out the way. So like I said, it's a new wild west too. So we want to make sure we don't transition this time, because it's always a 300-year cycle. I don't care what y'all talking about. We can even go into history regardless of looking at patterns and things of that nature and see the same similar things happening. And because it's natural. Not only is it 300 years, it's a 3-week thing. You can look at that. It's a 3-month thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a 3-year thing. Right? So when you look at it naturally and separate it from pseudo and stuff like that, you can pull out the qualities that separate it from the human bias and realize it's something that all species go through. Get tired of shit. You know what I'm saying? You see, I ain't cuss you too. I ain't cuss. Get tired of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, eventually once something happened for so long, it's just naturally humans, monkeys, alligators get tired of it and start switching it up. You know what I'm saying? Monkeys could be on one tree on the east wing, eventually get tired. Once the time it leaves spring, they go and spring onto another tree on the west end, or whatever the case may be. That's just nature. You know what I'm saying? However the case may be, the tree may grow, or the bush may grow in a slightly different area than it grew in the yard last year. Same way in nature, however the case. So you have to see things in reality first, before you start to over exaggerate and try to fight for something or for or against something, because the bias is more attached to things going into your favor. And when we going through a new spiritual warfare right now and a new wild west, you could be holding on to old gold right now that ain't even valuable. Now you got to go to gold exchange. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to go pawn some gold and things of that nature and get your refund on it, aka that'll be in the third dimension of doing damage control. Whatever you were trying to prop up that worked last week, stop working this week. But you don't want to look crazy, because now you got to jump on the next thing this week in order for you to still be in the esoteric vibe of things of that nature. Or even when it comes to online and you're trying to jump into the algorithm. So it's almost like even in the religious factor of a person in that quality of, or that energy of, if I'm wrong, I don't want to be right. So things are switching so much. This is why they have so many debates with atheists, and atheists have so many debates with theists and stuff like that, because it's a secret way of still doing what I'm talking about. You know, just it's things going on in religion, just like science is being updated, and you could be seen as a fool upholding some stuff that's old and outdated, back with the dinosaurs, which is dinosaurs back. I'm back, baby. New age space dinosaur engine, bitch. Oh, man. But for the most part, I'm back from space, baby. But yeah, like I said, but when it gets, I'm teaching everybody. But when it get, what I seen, I'm teaching you what you get ready to see if you ain't seen it yet. And if you already seen it, I ain't teaching you nothing. I'm just reminding you what you already know. Get back with the program. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you can see these things 300 years and stuff like that as a formation. Well, I had another point too. Let me not lose my point. Yeah, so it's just like science. Science be updated every couple of years and stuff like that. So other ideas about religious books and stuff like that be updated. So if you a theologian, you know you out the game if you ain't staying updated with the you still on Van Tillius Teal or something like that and stuff like that, and Bill Nye the Science Guy and the other dude might be William Lane Craig and stuff might be finding other books and stuff. They might have found some new book from the what they call that, the Dead Sea Scrolls or something. They might be digging something up from that area and stuff, find some dead colonists that wrote something and stuff like that ain't nobody discovered yet that was supposed to be in the Bible and stuff. And now here you go, you holding on to some stuff and everybody updating, everybody getting way more money off their debates, talking at way more colleges. Now you just some what they call has-been theologian now and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to be old and outdated and you don't want to spike this spiritual fight with everybody. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to substantiate yourself. So when it comes to business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, you can't be upholding nothing. No, even if somebody else created it. You should be in a space of creating some subsidiary yourself. Even if you're a Christian, find some way to make your own denomination. Because whatever that you're doing is part of the same attribute as what I'm talking about. Old gold. You might have to go to the pawn shop. AKA damage control. AKA you scaring your nieces and nephew and your children about what Jesus Christ gonna do to them because they ain't do that chore that week or something like that, or something that you want them to do with your own desire that they ain't do. It ain't working this year. It ain't quite working. You might be grandma, grandpa. It ain't working this year. You know what I'm saying? It ain't quite working this year. You might get hit upside the head with the iron board or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I seen news channels and stuff like that recently about kids harming their parents and stuff and throwing pork chops at them and stuff like that. I seen it, man. America is flawed. You know what I'm saying? Get your T-Steam game up. Get your T-Steam game up. Get your T-Steam game up. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, you can sit around and be talking about these things, or you could be the doer. You know what I'm saying? You could be the victim of these things and think you ain't the victim because it just has to happen first, and then you could jump in and talk about it. And even if you're online, that's like jumping in the algorithm. Or you could be a double-edged sword, be the individual people was talking about, and you could talk. You want to be the double-edged sword, and then you're going to be coming across people who ain't in the new world yet, but they watch the new world, so they slowly but surely might just be a hater of yours or whatever the case may be. So they ain't even involved into being a double-edged sword or a one-sided sword. They just a spectator at the moment, but they ain't got nothing else to spectate because everybody online. You know what I'm saying? So you have to peep game. And so the real life is just what you need to substantiate. Online is like an esoteric fort. And here's the thing, a lot of people forts is getting raided. So that's like ideologies and stuff like that. People's ideas of how to go about things, especially when it comes to business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. And when we thinking about the importance of these things previously and stuff like that, it's not seen as important. So a person might be trying to be seen as intelligent for something that's not seen as intelligent now. They got to go to the gold exchange and pawn some gold. A person might be seen as a business savage person or whatever the case may be. Gotta go back to the drawing board. People might look at that like that's the scamming. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing intelligent about that. That's the scamming. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. A person might be in a religious aspect or whatever. When we start talking about business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, education, religion, and entertainment, the lines is blurred. You know what I'm saying? Because we still got Pan-Africans online and stuff like that. We still got people trying to promote their schools and stuff like, you know what I'm saying? 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? In this day, 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? They got to say, somebody need to do one of those and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I love everybody. Real shit. As long as people see you trying, you better than other people. That's for anybody. Even if you're trying in the basement, in the whip, in the living room, in the dining room. Guess what? Your trying gonna start looking better and people gonna be watching and you a double-edged sword and stuff like that. Then someone gonna be in the basement anyway, just ain't nobody. Then someone gonna have money and rich anyway, whether they're in the basement or not, still nobody. So it don't even matter. A person gonna spend all their money, that's the lame and still be a lame. And just in the basement, it still ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? In the attic, it still ain't no car, it still ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it really is just nobody. You know what I'm saying? Do it like a hater, nobody. Do it like you haters, nobody, baby. Know what I'm talking about? Know what I'm saying? Now, let's get into certain details and stuff like that. We'll start to talk about esoteric landscaping. You got to map out. So you got to become a surveyor, right? So this is what more VNs, more to do. Now we want to separate from all the negative conversations and train of thoughts and line of reasonings and stuff like that. Take positive qualities, right? So when it comes into positive qualities and stuff like that, there's actual things that you need to align when it comes into esoteric landscaping and mapping and stuff like that. I don't know if this is or not. Let me start this over. Or did it clear up? Oh, it cleared up. So for the most part, here's the thing. Now when it comes to surveying, right, you got to map out the landscape. Now what does that actually mean? Mapping out the landscape is seeing who's all involved, how many members, what's the circumstance, and how much can it be expanded, and the area and territory and the terrain. So when it comes to business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, let's say you already are, let's because you know a lot of people is religious, right? Which I don't recommend. Spirituality has nothing to do with religion. Religion is a form of cultivating people's spirituality and agriculture and things of that nature, and astronomy and astrology and anatomy and animism. That's a whole nother video. But for the most part, let's talk about religion. Let's say you're a religious person, but you already experiencing having to go to the esoteric gold exchange. You got to pawn something. Things ain't working. All kind of new arguments out here coming out and things of that nature. I mean, all kind of theists kicking all kind of atheists, theists and atheists kicking with this new terminology, new books, and whatever the case may be. Right? For the most part, you already know you old and outdated. When it comes to the gold that you have, it's not value. So these new materials, aka these new essential minerals, these new things that these people then went out and hunt and found, right? You out the game. So you ain't got no small game. You can't bargain in exchange. You ain't gonna reap no esoteric currency, aka whatever you paying attention to. You too broke to obtain it to play ball, or whatever the case may be, right? So that's aka you not paid attention to, and whatever you paying attention to, you not being able to jump in and start your process where you can start to get funds, get attention, start to accumulate, put more light in that world, or whatever the case. So now you might got to raise some forwards, right? Do you got people on your side that share your ideology, or is you a strong spiritual self and you got a double-edged sword? So your emotional stance is cool, that right side of the sword, and your logical stance is cool, the left side of the sword. You know it's dull if one or the other don't make sense. You might be more emotionally attached to something, but it logically don't make sense. You might be more logically attached to something, but it's not emotionally resonating. So for the most part, it might be for alternative reasons that a person could point to that's intelligent enough to show you where it's wrong, where we're so much in the Walt Disney world based upon capitalism and and colonizing and gaining and stuff like that. That might be more on the basis of what you're considering more intelligent or positive, or something going more in your favor, even if it means you're still developing more enemies and you having to watch your back depending on what kind of business that you in, and it's like that. But at the same time, you might have to go raid, aka you might got the, if you could sharpen up your sword, get more logical, and get out of the, and start to be a double-edged sword. Don't mix and confuse it, aka what you're emotionally connected to, make sure you blend that in with its logical. Whatever you're more logical with, make sure it's emotionally resonating so it don't seem like it's just external purposes or monetary gain. Therefore, it's a double-edged sword. Whatever you're coming across is logical, and it resonates emotionally with other individuals for it to actually make sense, and it don't seem like you're just doing something that ultimately leads into you just being seen as a grifter, or whatever the case. Right? Now it's time for you to start setting up shop. It's time for you to start campaigning. It's time for you to start auditioning. It's time for you to start recommending, or whatever the case may be. And you got to fight though, especially if you by yourself, right? You got to fight, because people are going to look at it like a new ideology, and they're going to be using certain parts from the old world that they have transmuted with the new minerals. So they add new gadgets, new GPSs, new electronics to their gas cars and making it electric cars and stuff like that. So for the most part, it's like a cheat code, because you got something new, but you ain't utilizing old and outdated things as a substantiated point for you to even get into the conversation. So for the most part, it's almost like using a word that y'all can't even get past the word that you use to even get to the fruitful of the conversation that you know that you probably could debunk. So once you go to war and go to combat, right, you take all their gold, right? So that means making sense out of their stuff better than them. So you're more in an equilibrium, unbiased. So you're able to teach both perspectives. And then that by default, your idea that allowed you to do that is you being able to bring something to replace it. And whatever you're bringing to replace it is more objective, because it got both parties, it got both energies, it got both dichotomies, and it's blending in when it's resonating on the right side of the sword and the left side of the sword, logical and emotional. So therefore, anybody who was attached to the bias will have to be on to themselves to realize they was more attached emotionally, or the other one was more attached logically, or whatever the case may be. And therefore, you're going to reap the benefits of being whatever we call it, a new age and a new wild, wild west, the face and representation of what we're considering religion. And then whatever we're duplicating, that's new money or whatever the case may be, you're going to be the face of what everybody only want to hear or whatever. And whoever come after you, they come after you though. It's like that right now. And your energy will remain for the next 100 years. Probably the next 300 years, because this is getting deep. We starting over. All the washing machine cycle started over, so everybody back to their natural races again, even if you're mixed, but the percentage scale, phenotype, the genotype is more important now, not the nationality. God did that. Nationality is based off terms and where people at, and just because you're born somewhere don't mean you from there. So it ain't what we do, is how we do it. So even if we is a melting pot here and things of that nature, but it ain't what we do, is how we do it. God giving us better attributes of how to do it the right way, the better way, and things of that nature. So we can become one on this soil. You see what I'm saying? But especially if you're a content creator right now, this is very important. If you're a business person, a business shark right now, this is important times. And it's a free-for-all for all ethnicities. And you'll really be able to help your people right now. You know, it's getting to the point that if you go hard enough, your face could be on some money type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy the way how deep it is, and humans can't control it. It's like we in a different atmosphere, spiritually, mentally, and physically. So it's up to us to figure out the know-how in the most relatable and sync way. Now, when it comes into entertainment, because we're going to get into business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. Same concept. Entertainment. Let's say you already in entertainment and you already a celebrity. You know everything I'm talking about. You just don't understand it in the frame of thought I'm putting it in. Think about it. You might be a comedian right now, and you're struggling with your handlers and your people and your team around you. Should you become a podcaster or not, or whatever, and things of that nature. That come from what I'm talking about. You didn't got rated without even trying. People didn't even raid you. It's just it's a free for all. You got a whole bunch of new tribes, whole bunch of new people, and it's all ethnic groups now over here in America. And you got people online who are already funny, but since it's not in a traditional way of how you be seen as the comedian badge and title, and you went through this person and that person, right? It's not even seen as comedian, but yet it's entertainment. It's entertaining and people can laugh. So it's really in that same space. It's just people on a different street on that block in that esoteric city, and doing it from a different angle. And since we all in a new world, that one is more favored. See what I'm saying? So people, it's like a refreshing energy. You and the one that street was popping for the past 300 years in the physical world. In the spiritual world, it's the same street. That street ain't popping right now. People like the house parties 2 blocks up, but it's still in that same city. And if we talk about comedian right now in the entertainment city or whatever the case may be, here's why y'all comedians is even having to be like, argue a little bit more for the check you was previously getting, and you not being able to get that same amount now, and you having to justify why you just going straight to Tubi and Netflix now and stuff like that, and trying to boost up why that's more and why that's better than touring. You know that ain't better than touring. You know them tour dates is you getting more money than you having to wait every month. You know that. You know that check. You know them 3 or 4 shows per month. Way better than you waiting a whole month. You be looking at that like, wait a minute, this check I'm getting online, I was getting that 2 shows out of that month. And if I got 4 or 5 shows a month, I got to get hot again. You know what I'm saying? So you start thinking like, well, let me get online, but I got to get hot. So you know what I'm saying? Netflix and YouTube got to make me hot so I can get back on the road. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me I'm lying. Don't tell me I'm lying. No, I'm teaching everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I want everybody to eat. I ain't no hater. That's it. I recommend everybody. If you need to get on YouTube, get on it. You know what I'm saying? You doing what I'm doing, but I ain't about to be a person that's trying to make myself lit by bragging about that all the time. Because God gave me so many creative gifts and stuff like that. Even if something gets stolen, wherever that came from, God gave me areas where it's plenty more. So it's like I got unlimited the left, up, right, down, R1, R2, L1, L2, you know what I'm saying? Up, down, then you get the machinery unlimited code, not just the the grenades and stuff, not just the machine guns and stuff like that, unlimited gun code. You get the grenade, the big guns, the rocket launchers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Got that part on Vice City and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? San Andreas. You know what I'm saying, bro? Stop. So don't bring back memories and stuff. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Also bring back memories. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to peep game. So when it comes into entertainment and stuff like that, we're just specifically talking about comedians, but it goes into musicians, record execs. Y'all not exempt. People who run these industries and stuff like that, y'all not exempt. Stop thinking y'all aliens and stuff like that or whatever like that. Y'all not exempt for these new energies. Trust me, y'all banks is feeling it. The things y'all was funding feeling it, and y'all pets that's not able to recoup that y'all thought they was gonna recoup because the shift is happening so fast. It's like, dang, last year be one kind of shift, and the next year it's a whole nother shift. Be like, God damn, and stuff like that. You know, it's impossible for them to recoup. You don't know how you gonna hit your little doggy upside the head with a whip. You don't know how you about to hit your little monkey. You don't know how you figure it out somehow to make this thing holler and go hunt some new minerals out there. You're like, listen to Uriel. Act like you're not listening to him, but listen to him and go hunt. Whatever he said, go find it first. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Oh, goddamn Buffalo Soldiers. Stay out my way, you Buffalo Soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Stay out my way. All you Buffalo Soldiers now, stay out my way now. I be trying to be cool with a lot of y'all family members and stuff like that. I got a lot of y'all family. As family. I got a little piece of y'all and me and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Through my father. So, I be trying to treat y'all like family and stuff like that, too. It's just, man, it be a large percentage of y'all females. Y'all want to be Buffalo Soldiers. Y'all think that'd be cool at times to be a Buffalo Soldier or stuff, be a spy or whatever. You ain't spying on nothing but this dick. I'll tell you that right now. That's all you spying on. It ain't about nothing else. You know what I'm saying? About nothing else. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? See that for free. You just ask. For real. You really could just ask. You know what I'm saying? For the female. The female Buffalo Soldiers. You do stay out of my way, man. Talk about something else. Because we see this, it's a mental warfare. I see it and stuff like that. Talk about something else. Don't talk about no monkeys, no dinosaurs, no DNA, no non-existent people, no indigenous people, nothing. Don't talk about nothing, man. Just stay in y'all little pocket and try to build y'all world. You know what I'm saying? Because that y'all entertainers. Y'all show ain't in the education pocket. I be trying to put y'all in the conscious community and education pocket. Y'all far from it. It's just entertainment. Y'all sense of entertainment pocket at that point. You know what I'm saying? I'm in all of them. Y'all just in one, the entertainment one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all entertainers about what y'all interested in. Y'all just interested about stuff that got something to do with education and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are the entertainers. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, start building a curriculum. You know what I'm saying? For y'all ain't got to sit around and talk about other people all day. And 10 years later, we got to hear about why y'all trying to motivate everybody to fight these same people that y'all claim y'all teaching everybody. So y'all want to teach people, then 10 years later want everybody to complain and fight against them and call them racist colonizers or something like that. Man, y'all gonna have to pick one. You want to get paid or not? You know what I'm saying? You want to be paid Nick Fury's or not? That's it. If you pay Nick Fury, be a damn good paid Nick Fury. Don't be no Nick Fury and stuff and try to act like you ain't Samuel L. Jackson and stuff. Look, Samuel L. Jackson was Nick Fury. He was Uncle Sam next to Kendrick Lamar with bell bottoms on. He was like, you know what I'm saying? So y'all ain't this, if you gonna do that, do it damn good. Be the damn look back in the day, the house nigga was proud. Oh, sound Gregory tap dancing everywhere, cartwheels and stuff like that. A lot of times, a lot of people pay. Natives used to pay all kinds of stuff. Pay, we'll come to the backyard, colonize the backyard, and see some tap dancing. Man, that's entertainment. You got the record business today. You got it ain't nothing different. You know what I'm saying? We be buying record sales. I seen Beyonce on stage. I seen Jay-Z on stage. From online, but you know what I'm saying? Still, that's a real still exists. Things still exist. I bought a Jay-Z record. You know what I'm saying? I bought a 50 Cent record. Yeah, you damn right. I bought a Dipset record. I bought a Jadakiss record. You damn right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I bought a Twista record. You know what I'm saying? I bought a Snoop Doggy Dogg record. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't about to sit here and, like, I ain't no hater, though. Motherfuckers can tap dance. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no hater, though. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers can tap dance. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Good old show. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you gotta think about it. When it comes into, but just even this broaden it away from me making jokes with the conscious community or whatever the case may be. Just entertainers in general, right? So comedians, even when it comes to musicians, movie, actors and actresses, y'all got to switch up the game of how you gonna get hired, right? I see a lot of individuals, a lot of people is still in the intelligence from content creators right now, especially me. But you could be an up-and-coming actor right now that's fresh and brand new, or actress right now. If you see, a lot of y'all don't be around supporting people, so even if it ain't something you believe in that could go the distance, it's something you just enjoy to do. Try to find something you enjoy to do that ultimately still leads to forms of creativity. What I mean by that, let's say if you want to be an up-and-coming actor or actress, you should be practicing. Like, man, the hell with auditions. Online is the new auditions. You can get lit online right now and do a bunch of skits. And if you got people around you that's speaking life into something, that's going to motivate you and have people to do skits with. You're waking up every day practicing, and that's building mental muscle and physical muscle. Facial expressions, then you come up with a whole new way of doing scenes. Like what I'm about to start doing. I ain't about to say that though. I'm saying, because I said it before, but nobody did it yet. So that really people don't be watching. They ain't watch that live stream or probably motivated to do that. But for the most part, you can come up with a whole new scene to exercise your acting or actressing ability, or whatever the case may be. Now you got up and coming directors, especially when it comes to nepotism. It's a new world, wild, wild west. So when it comes to the Kobo minds, right? People who are already in the industry, but the children, the descendants, the people that's our age and stuff like that. They got this money, but they don't know what to do with it. And since they're still part of the old world, they're experiencing losing. They're experiencing losing more than throwing an egg against the wall and it's sticking. Especially when it comes to streaming right now and stuff like that. So you could be some new refreshing thing of that nature. You already see things starting off right now. People, especially when it comes to entertainment and musicians, and them intentionally making songs that could be a theme song for a wrestler or a theme song for a restaurant or whatever the case may be. I don't like it started a little bit. That was all right with Offset and Cardi B getting the McDonald meal, whatever the case may be, but they forgot they was musicians. And I don't want you podcasters that's musicians to forget that. When you add your music, it be more flourished. So even if you're not putting out an album, the things you're going through, make a song around that. You are a musician. Get out of being more on a percentage scale of you being a record business artist. So when you're doing something different, you forgot what got you in the business, your talent. And you're supposed to be creative enough to know how many layers and how wide of a range your natural talent can lay in. And you'll be finding so many other ways to put out things and put out music. You could be the face of even how streaming is done. How I already gave y'all the game. Put your music on a streaming service and have it at the beginning of your live streams and things of that nature for the amount of seconds that it count as a stream. So for the most part, it's all kind of, it's warfare, but in that way, if you're intelligent and you creative or however the case may be. But there's multiple things you can do, especially if you already got a name and you already got history and you already could do something right now, and things that y'all did 15, 20 years ago get lit again. And if your business right, it's on your page where you reap the benefits. A lot of y'all artists is in the new world right now, still dealing with old world stuff, but you're not able to see what I'm saying. What do that mean? You could have you could get lit right now in the algorithm because what you doing now that got some theme to it that make people go to one of your old songs, you can't even reap the new benefits from because some form of ASCAP or some goddamn shit or whatever the case may be. So some record company getting this new boost of record sales or this new boost of streaming, you got 100,000 new views because of what you just did. That ain't had nothing to do with it, but music is one of the prominent things of life. So when people don't want to binge watch what you just got lit from, they just go to your creative, whether you got something to sell or whatever, or all the way down to your music. And you ain't even reaping the benefits of the shit. You see what I'm saying? Now Interscope Records get ready to get another 100,000, get ready to get another 5 million off your song because we all watching it again because of what you just did this week that ain't had nothing to do with it. But we ain't got no choice because this is what we do. And it's going to be in the recommendations and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Stuff. So it's like, that right there is what I'm talking about. You about to have to go through some type of spiritual warfare. That's already spiritual warfare, but this is what I'm talking about where it's getting physical. Let's just make sure we're talking about our creativity, though. You know what I'm saying? Physically means you got to get up and physically figure out how you're going to go about this new way of doing it, and how can you still capitalize off your work when you even got old gold in the hands of someone else, and they vote that at that shift it didn't mean nothing and it made sense. And we in a new shift where that can help. That can help you recoup something. That can help you tally up. Man, the way groceries is right now, things of that nature, we all got kids, bills. Whoa. You're like, man, I can't let that pass or whatever the case. We in a whole new world. You know what I'm saying? I need to get that song, get that video, make a page, and then make that one get views or whatever the case. So like whatever you got to do, you know what I'm saying? Whatever your spiritual warfare got to do, you got to do it though. You better do it now, for some other copyright litigation you would never be able to reap the benefits off your own creativity. It's a deep game right now. You know what I'm saying? So when you're thinking about it, right, you might got to raid a few forts when it comes to record execs, when it comes to A&Rs, when it comes to artists or whatever, and you trying to be an artist. You know the traditional way ain't there no more. And even if it is, you got to do some over-exaggerated thing, especially like when it come to me. Everything I did was overboard of all the ways that people would have got signed before. Now is this these people copying tactics that I do and other people do for them to already be in the game and stuff like that. So that's kind of messed up. But at the same time, here's the thing. It's all good. You is in this position right now where you got to create the new way to even be an artist. And it's so open right now, you can sign yourself if you reach a sweet spot. And here's the thing. You need to be more involved. Don't be talking and trying to use that you stumble across to brag. Then when it shift and it lessen up, you spent more time on coming up with creative ideas to prove, to be in the people's faces so you can say you proved them wrong or shit on them or something like that. It'll be a time for that, and it'll be inevitable where you ain't even got time. It'll just be obvious, right? If you spend more time, especially if you stumble over some gold, and figure out how to bucket hat it, create a new industry around it right now, and things of that nature, and get your team. So everything is like, because you have to create a new way to be the artist. Create a new way to be the person that's creating a label and signing people and stuff like that. And here's the thing, you're going to build better relationships too, because the people ain't going to be expecting the old world of what they think they need when they sign a contract and sign. And you actually going to have more people that's willing to do the grassroots aspect of it, right? And make you feel like we all in it together. So we all going to take any negative reaction or letdown together too. Now y'all get ready to create a new Interscope or whatever the case may be. And all you have to do is learn what anybody did. The bucket hats, Native Americans or whatever, with the casinos and stuff, even though a lot of them are infiltrated by more percentage scale of the European. But at the same time, European bucket hat, right? Even if you can't make music, still take the good quality from them and stuff like that, right? Where it's like a banking system where you put in something, like you got the studio and you got your people. So that's like $100, right? Then you can rent that out, right? So that's like renting out money you don't have if we're looking at it in banking terms like Jeffrey Epstein, right? So now what you paid for it, you could triple it up, because the money you paid for it, you open it up for others, and once 2 to 3 people need to use it, then you got that back. So that's like a promissory note, right? That's like you, and now you can loan. You could have your stuff or your equipment open. Shout out to Jim Jones. I don't know why all artists ain't doing that, man. Make a creative hub for your kind and people from your background. Shout out to Jim Jones. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, boom, loan is, in this aspect, opening up access And a person might be stumbling in on gold, but don't got the access, don't got the platform. Boom, a double-edged sword just came together. The person who opened access and the person who had the gold, but didn't have the access or the platform. And then for the most part, we're making each other rich. We're just making each other rich now and stuff like that. Because the one person that get lit is in, and then you better have some appreciation. You better kick some percentage scale to the person who had the platform. We better get back to reality nowadays and stop letting these other percentage scales and these colonist tactics that we practice amongst each other allow us in these inner communities always be separate from the concept of us being able to come together in the right way, and then the way that we do make it be the colonizer way, so it separate us because it built so many situations for us to get there in that colonizer way that built up as animosity, elephants in a room, and stuff like that. And things just play out as just got to go your way and separate, or dog eat dog. And wolves attack. And lions, tigers, and bears. Concrete jungle qualities. You see what I'm saying? Jailhouse rules. There ain't nobody in jail. Just somebody who got something amongst people who don't. Crab in a bucket energy. So for the most part, we have to develop that energy as a starting point before all these things that's in the way, the drugs, the guns, the contracts, the funding, the colonizer, the agent coming in and sweet talking you away from the concept and stuff like that. And then you have to understand what grounds you first when you don't have anything and you ain't got two nickels to rub together in the first place. And that's when you was building any true gold to put you into any situation for you to make any decision that a lot of times higher on a percentage scale is separating you from the things that grounded you and built a lot of animosity in between, to the point that it becomes justified that you can't trust certain people that was close to you anymore. But it's because of the way that everybody is all scattered and culture destroyed and the relationship starting points and stuff like that. So for the most part, there's no grounding or stability or no backing and support or no future. So a lot of times people just be all over the place, and it just so happens the colonizers and their descendants has a better program to make people feel like, well, this is a safer route to take. But and here's the thing, yeah, you might get your 1-2 together, but you just can't count on having a portion of it to help your own. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing you have to sacrifice or whatever. And you're already going to be in a situation where it don't make sense to help your own. Then you got to look at your own like they didn't do something you did. But all you did was a person who had a destable culture. When at some point, whatever you make, you're supposed to help your people. Like, for an example, even though I got African in me, but for the most part, if I was to become rich or whatever the case may be, first thing I'm doing is helping all the reservations and things of that nature and creating one for myself and things. And then for the most part, especially for all the mixed individuals. So, and people who are lost and lost their culture or whatever the case may be, and make things out of these people. So it's not shaming people. It's if you're in a better position than your people, then for the most part you make something for your people, so y'all not damaged and separated again and things of that nature. So you built up the construction workers, you built up the scientists, you built up the future musicians, you built up the future artists, you built up the future clothes creators and things of that nature, the future technicians or whatever the case. Those be the gems y'all missing. And then they be left scattered in these colleges. They be left scattered. Ain't nothing wrong with college. They be left scattered in these militaries. It ain't nothing wrong with the military. They be left scattered in these things. And then they might jump into some of these things for the wrong reasons and do the wrong things that's in some of these institutions. But then for the most part, even when they're doing the right things, all their gift and their gold is being capitalized, though. You know what I'm saying? And then you may be a family member that you're not listening to what I'm saying, so they may be in a better position than you. And then you're in a situation being funky, and then you trying to get an algorithm online, shaming your family members and things of that nature. Just like we just seen this happen. The whole reason I even brought all that up and things of that nature, because we actually see what happened with Glorilla. I just like to make things make sense and stuff like that. So ain't nothing, shout out to the colonizers, stuff like that. I'm just using examples. The whole example was tied to, because we can see this in reality of how everything got broke down play out with Glorilla and her family members coming out right now and things of that nature, where she was already supposed to be in a situation where there's a cultural based circumstance and there was already a goal that was supposed to take place and take action towards if a person made it. And that's what everybody mind state is on. But if everybody already scattered as a starting point, of course, the starting point, everybody gonna be scattered and don't believe in each other. And then if one person do make it, it just so happened to be the relationship is going to start to accumulate that way. So we have to justify our negative reactions amongst each other as close ones. But at the same time, right, these are things that has to be healed, especially if we're in a new age and the old world right now ain't even really that supportive. So you'll be utilizing a bunch of tactics to even have you in this situation, even if you're the breadwinner, and that still ain't safe because it could disappear tomorrow. You was lit in one shift this week, and the next it's a whole nother thing in the algorithm. It's a whole nother thing people want, or it's a whole nother thing that you got to add yourself onto. But if you rooted yourself onto one thing, it's that going to be that energy. If I'm wrong, I don't want to be right. Then you might be so much in your ego that now you're missing multiple shifts because you're trying to still fight for an old one to work, or you scared to add things to the other one because you still in some type of ego thinking that people gonna look at you as you not standing on something because of how hard you went for it when it was working. That's why you have to be careful of going so hard for things, especially if it's in the energy of virtual signaling or narratives and stuff like that. Because the way people are reacting and responding and the way that narratives are changing every now and then, right? You don't know that you might be the face of something that might be just getting spit on next week. That might be seen as the worst thing possible. But last week, it looked like a person was hitting the lottery. So it's tricky when you just diving too much into things that deals with the flesh and what the flesh create. Get more into the spirit and what the spirit create, the mind. You're of that body. Because the spirit creates the mind, the soul creates the mind, and then the mind creates the body, and then the body creates the external representations and things of that nature. And then you could get lost in those two, the body and external representation. And then you forgot the first two, the spring and summer aspect. You know what I'm saying? Your spirit, spring, then your mind, summer, water. Then it comes down into the air of the throne, your physical and your breath, fall, and then gets into the winter. Then the flesh movements of it, and it being rooted down here, and you being practical or not. So you have to peak game. And when it comes to it being forts that need to be rated, that's just if you're trying to fight for something or whatever the case may be, and or you had to go to the esoteric gold exchange too much. So that's you trying to update something. See, a lot of people may not know how to make sense, but let Jay-Z try to drop a song right now, or whatever the case may be. He's going to experience exactly what I'm talking about, especially when it comes to a subject matter. And he may be forced to rap about something in a new age, and it just so happens they're creating a lot of narratives around Jay-Z. So those would be some of the things that he may have to attack as far as in his lyrics, if that ain't a setup already for him to present a song or whatever, because a lot of things just be setups. But for the most, could they be all in on it in certain instances? But based upon just him being in that sticky energy in the first place and him being challenged of his rapping abilities and stuff, right? That's experiencing a new world. You using old things in the old world to try to gratify or validate why you still should be seen this way in this new world may not be justified or whatever the case may be. That's why you even seen 50 Cent upload a song where, once upon a time, everybody seen those Jay-Z pictures with Aaliyah and everybody heard that song or whatever the case may be that Pharrell produced. But we're in a new shift. So, it don't hit the same. You know what I'm saying? It don't hit the same. You saying I got a young girl. You know what I'm saying? And it don't hit the same or whatever the case. You being behind Aaliyah like that with her little teenage boy body. You know what I'm saying? It ain't hit the same. You know what I'm saying? We're in a new world, duh. We're in a new world, bro. You got to go to the gold exchange. And the way they hit you up, somebody robbed you. Somebody raided Fort Rockefeller Records. Somebody raided it. It might have been Paul. Paul might have raided Peter, and it just trickled down and through the puppets like Jay-Z and stuff like that. But it show got raided. It got raided. And what's the homegirl that be with Jay-Z and stuff like that? That Nicki Minaj be talking about and stuff like that. And Nicki Minaj part of whoever be raiding it. So Rock Nation, Rock Nation, man, y'all ain't no nation, but yeah, y'all got raided. Y'all fort got raided. It's still getting rated too. So y'all got to do something about that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it coming to the industry, the music industry and things of that nature. And it's all kind of new gold, and Jay-Z ain't out here hunting. Yeah, Jay-Z, he ain't out here hunting or whatever the case may be. So it's all kind of new minerals, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And he keep messing around. He might got to end up on a streamer's page or something like that just to even be seen. You know what I'm saying? It'd be weird stuff going on right now. I'm trying to make it make sense to y'all. But when it just comes to business, entertainment, education, we already hour in, damn. But just when it comes into business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, right? It's the new wild, wild west. And you might have to raid a fort or you might have to build a fort. And building a fort is substantiating your claim inside of that lens, in that world, in that state, right? So therefore, somebody gonna raid your stuff. You might got some new ideology. Here come a whole bunch of cosplayers, whole bunch of people hijacking it, whole bunch of people that's opposing it, or whatever the case may be. You getting raided. Yeah, they stealing your gold. You know what I'm saying? People don't like what you just brought in that city. Or some people trying to invade your city and they trying to live there, but you a prominent influence there. So that's when it comes to your ideology about business or religion or entertainment or education or politics and how you go about it. You know what I'm saying? You could, if you're in the music industry, you could stumble across some gold and get lit right now. See how fast all kind of people infiltrate your way of doing something, or you possibly get ready to get a deal in this area, then another person that's trying to sign you, they start doing some in-house thing that destroy things. It's all kind of stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to substantiate yourself so you're reaping the most benefits of it, because we in a situation where the platform that's even presentable to make you feel comfortable, to be like, yeah, I finally made it, that might not ever be it anymore. It's in a new world. Them contracts, all the industry and stuff like that, right? We in a new world. It might be the same words on it, the same check as it was before 2016, but you looking at it and you signed it, and you gonna feel more on a percentage scale of there's something to this, or you getting taken advantage of, or I think I deserve more. And it might be things you could point to as justifications. How much you had to make yourself lit because the old world way of making people lit and artist development and scouting people ain't there anymore in this new world. So there's a lot of things you did. It's like the majority of things we are doing is overboard, way over what people had to do back then to get signed. If a person did what I did for you to even know who I am, and right here in little old Youngstown, Ohio, right? For you to even know who I am, and for me to have all this music more than everybody and content or whatever, this is a new way. We don't know what to call it. So you're going to be like, he ain't no musician. You part of the old world. He ain't no teacher. You part of the old world. He ain't no creative person. You part of the old world. He ain't no astrologer. You part of the old world. He ain't mystical. You part of the old world, or whatever the case may be. But guess what you get ready to do, and guess what it look like? Everything I'm already doing. You get ready to think you teaching through your podcast. You get ready to think you playing music at the beginning of your live stream. You know what I'm saying? You get ready to think you promoting yourself and getting lit online, or whatever the case may be, in a comfort of your own home, or a comfort or something, or whatever the case may be. Well, God damn it. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? We're in a new world. Let's not play around and stuff like that. So like I said, stop the talking and mumbling and get down and sit in the fort. So you could be the representation of whatever you present. Business, entertainment, education, religion, or politics, and all the little subsidiary cities and states and downtowns and city halls that you should be in control over with your little team. And here's the thing. Bargain and exchange is, if you got some moves that I like, I'm going to pay you attention. And that can even be a shout out or whatever. So it ain't like somebody just stealing and not even giving what they call that, giving the credit, and vice versa. So in the physical world, it don't even have to lead into what we was doing 300 400 years ago and things of that nature, because we're all getting ready to be more fruitful anyway. Then that makes us all as a whole look better. So even if we a melting pot, we could still create a situation like these other countries on these continents, like China, Japan, Britain, and stuff like that. That's why they don't be having y'all do y'all American tactics. Y'all be thinking, oh, they hate Americans. No, it ain't them hating Americans. A lot of times y'all can go over there and they don't even tell the difference unless you start talking or something like that with the Anglo-Saxon English. But for the most part, it's what you're over there for. You're over there to do some stuff that was created in America. Think influence exists and try to convince somebody or rule over other people with your ideology or whatever. So whether you're on the victim side or you're trying to be the Mormon and convince people or whatever the case may be, you just trying to tell people, hey, we all need to do this, we all need to do that. Man, that don't even exist in Britain or Japan or whatever, and they're more on a percentage scale amongst their own people. So you're doing something that only came into existence when you're amongst other people, and you're trying to convince them what you're talking about. Don't nobody be wanting to hear that in other countries. That's why they be banning y'all. They don't be having nothing to do with you, what y'all be talking talking about in America that only other Americans might just hear through you because you a dumb American or whatever. In other countries, man, they don't even got half of the channels we got here. You know what I'm saying? You already know TikTok is a whole different TikTok on a YouTube server, on the American server than it is in a Japan server. TikTok, whole different circumstances and stuff like that. I'm saying you go on TikTok in Japan, you learn a better chess move. You go on TikTok in America, you get an AI or some lady running away from a whole bunch of animals or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on my soul. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you're on TikTok, IG, Twitter, what they call it X now, especially YouTube. YouTube is still the most human, realistic, real people left. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, start substantiating yourself. So that means build a curriculum, build a system, manufacture it, make sure it's more genuine and it's not GMO. Therefore, that natural quality is going to allow people to resonate what you're doing, what we all doing. And then what we do is how we do it. The only difference is how you did it. And you did it in this new way, in a new world, in a new Wild Wild West, going through spiritual warfare. But you got the gadgets that God gave you. From Gritty Manitou, yo. And then for the most part, that puts you in a better perspective. And also be the new representation for the next 100 years on how to substantiate whatever that your city and state that you in, built in a fort. Business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. Map it out, see how broad it can be. You know what I'm saying? That's even like, let's say if you're talking about music, right? Don't just stop what you do. Scout other people that do other genres and things of that nature, but make it up under one ceiling. So that makes it broad. You're getting ready to start on the industry or whatever the case may be. I'm just using that as an example. But white collar, blue collar businesses, anything that you start from the ground up, a lot of females got y'all beat, especially on Facebook, because I'm from the hood. And so I know a lot of people personally. So I know the difference between from my city and AI or not when it comes to stuff like Facebook. And it's a lot of females from my city that I be seeing be having females beat. You know what I'm saying? Because all they be doing is cooking real good and stuff like that. And got a whole Facebook restaurant and stuff like that. That just off favoritism and everybody knowing you in the hood, because you went to high school with people and a lot of things was done. You probably threw parties or whatever the case may be. It's a communion thing. So even when people who know you ain't hungry and stuff like that, still, when people get paid and stuff like that, it's like, I'd rather support. Why not? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let me go get a meal from homegirl. Let me go get a meal from homeboy or whatever the case may be and stuff like that. So that's even when you're not a content creator, but you're in the new world and stuff like that. That's some new thing. So you ain't going through all these litigations and always have to suffer every week of getting shut down and people lying, like espionages lying, saying, yeah, the neighbor said you was playing music too loud and stuff like that. Just because, you know what I'm saying? Just because you got the building that some other colonist or somebody might want it or something like that. But so it's a secret way of getting you out. You ain't got to deal with all that and stuff like that. People got somewhere to come pick it up at and they can order it right online, or you get right in your vehicle and pay your own gas and become your own DoorDash, because you ain't going to nothing but a whole bunch of people houses and apartments of people you know and family. So you got a whole little DoorDash business and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Without ever having to put in no application. You got a whole little restaurant without ever having to pay no rent. How you love that in the new world? How you love that in the new world? I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Flight Park theme, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind Eminent Terry Smooth. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and my responsibilities. Erecta Swa, Haël'Ho, Yahlahué, Massasoit, Mama Natoy, Erecta Swa, and all of that. Masasaki, Gucci Manitou.